Hey guys, Tech Jazz here. So, this is the Brother L3220CDW, and at first glance, it looks exactly like what you'd expect from a compact color laser printer designed for a home office or a small professional space. Clean white finish, not overly flashy, and pretty minimal design. Definitely one of those devices that doesn't need to stand out visually, but instead, is built to deliver consistently solid performance. And right out of the box, it feels like that's exactly the lane it's trying to dominate: reliability, efficiency, and professional quality output without unnecessary frills. Now let's start with performance, because that's what most people really care about. The L3220CDW clocks in at 19 pages per minute for both black and white and color prints, which puts it in that sweet spot for small business and home office use. It's not trying to break any speed records here compared to those enterprise-grade machines, but it's fast enough that you can get through long reports, flyers, and presentations without feeling like you're waiting forever. The first page comes out in under 15 seconds, which, for most real-world use cases, is perfectly respectable. The print quality itself is what really stood out to me. We're talking crisp 2400 by 600p resolution that makes text sharp, consistent, and very easy to read, even in smaller font sizes. Where it gets interesting is in color printing. This isn't just about sharp text, it's about vibrant graphics. For people creating marketing materials, presentations, or even simple color-coded documents, this printer delivers a surprising punch in terms of color accuracy and vibrancy. It's not a photo printer, so don't expect gallery-quality prints, but for business documents, reports, and everyday professional use, it really does deliver. One of the highlights here is the duplex printing feature. Automatic two-sided printing is built in, and this is the kind of feature that sounds small until you actually start using it. You save paper, save time, and it just feels like the printer is working smarter for you. It's these incremental efficiencies that add up, especially in an environment where you're running dozens or hundreds of pages through every week. But let's talk about capacity and handling. This machine comes with a 250-sheet paper tray, which means fewer interruptions and fewer refills. For a home office or small business, that's actually a really good middle ground. You're not constantly reloading, but the printer doesn't take up as much desk space as some higher capacity units. Plus, you do get a manual feed slot for envelopes, cardstock, labels, or even glossy paper, so it's versatile enough for those occasional special projects. That flexibility is important if you're running a small operation and need to pivot between different types of media without switching to another printer entirely. Now, connectivity. This is where the L3220CDW feels modern and versatile. Built-in Wi-Fi is standard here, so you can print wirelessly from laptops, smartphones, and tablets, and it supports the major mobile printing platforms. That means you can print directly from AirPrint, Google Cloud Print, or the Brother iPrint&Scan app, which is simple enough to set up and use. There's also a USB option if you're still in that wired world, but honestly, once you get this thing connected to Wi-Fi, you probably won't go back. What's also reassuring is the built-in security protocols. With more of our documents being sensitive, whether that's invoices, contracts, or private reports, having some level of network security built into the wireless features is a welcome addition. The design of the printer itself is worth mentioning. It's compact at around 15.7 by 15.7 by 9.4 inches, and weighs just under 25 pounds. That's portable enough that one person can set it up without a hassle, but it still feels substantial, like a piece of office equipment you can trust to last. The display is a small LCD, nothing fancy or touchscreen heavy, but it does the job. It gives you just enough control to get through menus and settings without needing a computer every time. Honestly, it keeps the device simple and functional, which is consistent with the rest of the package. Now, one thing you have to consider with any laser printer is the long-term cost of ownership. Brother uses its TN229 series toner cartridges here, and yes, that includes the black, cyan, magenta, and yellow options, with high-yield and extra high-yield versions available. Toner costs can add up, but the flip side is that these cartridges last a lot longer than typical inkjet cartridges. If you're printing at high volumes, the total cost per page ends up being more efficient than constantly replacing ink tanks. So, while the upfront cartridge cost is higher, the long-term math actually makes sense for professionals. Let's zoom out for a second. Who exactly is this printer for? It's not built for the massive print shops or corporations printing thousands of pages daily. Instead, it's aimed squarely at small businesses, home offices, or even households where printing professional quality color documents is a regular need. If you're a freelancer, an entrepreneur, or someone working remotely and needing reliable, secure, and high-quality printing, this machine checks all the right boxes. And when we talk about the actual user experience, that's where this printer quietly shines. It doesn't try to overwhelm you with features you don't need. It's a print-only machine, no scanning or copying, which might sound limiting, but for many people, that simplicity is exactly what makes it appealing. You're not paying for features you'll never use. Instead, you're getting a laser-focused, pun intended, printer that just does its job, every time, with consistency. A couple of little extras worth pointing out: the printer supports voice control, which integrates with some of the smart assistants, so you can actually trigger prints with your voice. Is that essential? Probably not. But it does show that Brother is trying to keep up with how modern tech ecosystems work. And for some people who live in that smart home workflow, it's a nice bonus. Of course, nothing's perfect. The downsides here? It doesn't scan or copy, so if you need an all-in-one, you'll have to look at Brother's MFC lineup. The display, while functional, feels dated compared to touchscreens on other devices. And while the speed is good, it's not blazing fast compared to higher-end business printers. But when you put all of that into context, these aren't really deal breakers, they're more like trade-offs that make sense for the target audience. At the end of the day, the Brother L3220CDW is one of those printers that doesn't scream for attention, but instead quietly delivers on everything it promises. Professional quality prints, reliable performance, efficient duplexing, solid wireless connectivity, and enough capacity to keep up with a busy workflow. It's not flashy, but it doesn't need to be. It's a workhorse, and for the right kind of user, it's going to be the dependable backbone of their home office setup. So if you're looking for a printer that just works, consistently, without drama, and you value that professional-level color output for business documents, this one deserves a serious look. The Brother L3220CDW isn't about showing off, it's about showing up, day in and day out, and that's exactly what makes it a strong recommendation.